Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nomad CEO Podcast. I am Kenz, your host. And today I have been so unbelievably excited for today's episode with my new friend, Shiraz, who is one of the most amazing people I have ever met in my life. It's true. His story, where he came from, and then his accomplishments and really Shiraz, how you help transform people's lives still astounds me. So I am honored and humbled that you're here today and taking the time. And so everyone listen up. Let me tell you about Shiraz because he is the real deal. He is a multi-award-winning author, international speaker, and a reality interventionist, which we're going to talk about. And he helps people permanently rewrite the stories that are keeping them stuck. He's renowned for his groundbreaking work on reality addiction, and Shiraz empowers entrepreneurs, healers, and high achievers to break free from the unconscious patterns of lack and struggle, and then shift into lives of abundance and ease and joy. And through his transformational book, How to Rewrite Reality, yep. Shout out if you're watching. And his powerful programs, Shiraz has helped thousands around the world stop subconsciously choosing hardship and start consciously creating success. His work not only changes lives, it changes the way that people see reality itself. So Shiraz, welcome to the podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you, Ken. So happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So many questions for you. And I would just love to start with, what is a reality interventionist?
A reality interventionist helps you get out of the addiction of your current life. So it's like when you're on drugs or alcohol and people host an intervention. And it's like what you're doing is hurting you and the people around you. So I'm doing that, except it's about your actual reality because people don't realize they are addicted to their reality. And once you realize that there are certain things that are a physical addiction, it's not just even your thinking patterns. This is chemical addiction in your body to what's happening. Then you can start treating it like an addiction and get out of it. So if you've ever been in a situation where you went through a program or had a breakthrough workshop or something like that, and you started to see the changes and the success and the happiness in your life, you're like, oh my God, it worked. And then after a few weeks or a few months, you end up back where you started. That's not because the thing didn't work. It's because withdrawal kicked in and pulled you back into the addiction.
Man, that is good. That is so good. Why do you think people get addicted to their reality?
There's two main reasons. Number one is avoidance of emotional distress. And so if something happens and you don't want that to happen again. So for instance, let's say you lose a lot of money. Like you've made a lot of money and then you've lost it. And you feel like crap. There's shame, there's disappointment, there's embarrassment. And so your body doesn't like feeling that way. So it says, okay, I have to make sure that never happens again. And so now it logically figures it out. Most of the time, this is what it says. Well, we felt that way because we lost a lot of money. So if we don't make a lot of money, we'll never have to feel that way again. Right? So now you're like, why can't I make money again? I know I've made it before. I'm stuck. And meanwhile, your reticular activating system is looking around for cases of other people that have lost money. So they built up some money and then they lost it and see, there, that's proof that I need to keep doing this. There, that's proof that I need to keep doing this. Every time you see the proof, you get a hit of dopamine for being right. So now you've created a dopamine addiction looking for all evidence as to why you shouldn't make lots of money. And you don't even know it's running. And then your system protects you by sabotaging all your efforts to make money while staying in an addiction. And that's reality addiction.
Wow, that is so good. That is so true. And as someone that's battled addiction of different kinds that people talk about, food, alcohol, whatever, I haven't heard anyone talk about this. And yet when you're speaking to it, Shiraz, it's like, ding, ding, ding. This is resonating so deeply and it's so true. And so I'm curious, what's your journey to get here? And we will talk about what this looks like. And I'm going to put myself in the hot seat and run through some of this with you to be an example because you help so many people. Yeah. What did that look like for you to discover all of this?
So for me, it started off in, university. I was 22 years old. I was studying molecular genetics. I was a bodybuilder. And all of a sudden I got hit with rheumatoid arthritis and it hit every single joint in my body. Right. And when you're a bodybuilder and you can no longer build your body, it hurts, right? So, and when I say every joint, I mean, there were nights where I would sip my dinner through a straw because my jaw was so swollen and painful, like every joint got affected.
Mhm.
And I went into depression for a while. I was bedridden. I had to drop out of university. And eventually I just sort of pulled myself out and said, okay, we need to do something about this. So I tried the various things you do to get out of the arthritis. So there was medication, had no effect on me, right? There was diet and supplements, nothing. And then I started going into different programs for things like, would yoga help? Would acupuncture help? Would, healing practices help? And nothing helped. And when I say I did this, I don't mean like, well, I tried it this week. I mean 6 months to a year of these things, and nothing is changing because that whole period of my life lasted 18 years. Yeah. So my body was deteriorating. I was, shuffling like an old man when I walked. The one leg ended up being like an inch longer than the other because of the deterioration on the one side. Lost moving my joints. I'm still getting motion back, but like this is the total motion in this wrist. And this is better. It used to be completely seized up, but I'm working my body back into health. And then finally, I had a conversation with my father and I said, is there anything that you've heard of that we have not tried, that we have not looked at? And he said, well, actually, I just heard about a program that's happening over in India called combined therapy. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And he goes, I don't know exactly, but they've cured multiple diseases like cancer, arthritis, diabetes. And I'm like, what? And I said, why is everyone not going to this? Why is this not world famous? He goes, I don't know. But I've heard about it and I've heard about the results. So it's something you may want to try. So I hop on a plane and go to India and go through this combined therapy thing. And because it's India, I figured it was going to be some sort of energy work or something like that. But it wasn't. This guy worked with me and all he did was talk to me for like 2 to 3 weeks. Right. And it was like being with a psychiatrist, except he wasn't actually trying to solve anything. He was just gathering all this information about my life, about my childhood. And I'm like trying to figure out where the hell this is all going. And then he says, Shiraz, you believe you're responsible for everyone in your life. And I'm like, no, I don't. And he goes, okay, I know you don't think that consciously, but from everything you've told me, you've created this belief that you need to be responsible for everyone. And it started when you were a kid. And I thought about it and I said, okay, I know I'm a responsible guy. I'm always a designated driver. I make sure everyone gets home okay. Right? I watch out for my friends, but I don't think I'm responsible for everyone. Like that's just too much. And I thought about it. I said, okay, let's say that's true. Let's say I think I'm responsible for everyone. What's that got to do with arthritis? There's no connection, right? And he said, oh, but there is. You don't want to be responsible for everyone because that's just too hard. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And if you're lying in bed in pain, you don't have to be responsible for anyone. If people see you struggling just to get through the day, they're not going to ask you to take care of them. Your arthritis isn't your problem. It's your solution. And I was like, damn.
Whoa.
But seriously, that is so messed up. Right. And I was like, but this is 18 years of damage. You're honestly saying I would rather do that to my body than be responsible. And he goes, well, yeah. Right. And first of all, like, this is not uncommon. Almost all illnesses are solutions for problems people don't realize they're looking at. Right. And I'm like, so what you're saying then is that all I have to do is stop being responsible for everyone and the arthritis will just go away. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what? He said, if you believe deep down that you don't have to be responsible for anyone, like really believe this, then you don't need the arthritis. So I said, okay, I'm not going to be responsible for anyone except for me. And you know what happened in that moment? Nothing. So
okay, sorry. The buildup. What happened, Shiraz?
Nothing. But the next morning I woke up and there was no pain. There was no inflammation. I had more mobility and I could even like breathe better. I could feel more oxygen going into my lungs. The tightness of my body was just gone. And I'm freaking out because it's been 18 years of try this, try this, try this. This guy says, stop being responsible and poof, it's gone. Now, of course, the damage was still there, but the arthritis was gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man. And how long ago was that?
It was 2006. Oh, it's 20 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So last 20 years, I mean, you now have been longer without it than you had it,
Yeah. I've
before,
now
you've
been
got that
along. Yeah.
before your life, but that's,
Yeah. But
wow.
now everything is healed. My legs are the same length again. I've got way more mobility in my body, and things are just coming along. I'm able to work out again, and like it's been quite the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, first off, even just that story and people listening can totally spin what they've been thinking or believing or trying themselves to say,
Hmm.
what solution, what is this solving? My problem, what is it solving for
Yes.
me? So it's really, really powerful. I'm curious from there because now knowing more of what you do, which I'd love for you to speak to, what did that look like to then, get healed yourself? And then the
Hmm.
last 20 years be on this journey to now impact thousands of people around the world. Like, how did you develop the system that you have from that?
Well, when I got home, I was looking into different techniques and different modalities, and I really started getting into energy work. And then I realized this is not about illness. This is about everything. So every consistent problem in your life is the solution for an emotional problem you're not looking at. Because it wasn't even the responsibility. It was the guilt I decided to feel when I couldn't be responsible for everything. That was the key. And so when I told myself I don't have to feel guilty, I can't take care of everyone, and most of them are grown adults, they should be taking care of themselves, then the guilt went away, right? And it doesn't mean I don't help people. It just means I don't have to. I'm now in choice. Responsibility is obligation. Responsibility always feels heavy. And people are doing this in all aspects of their life, and it's to escape the emotional distress. So, or to get an emotional fix. Like if you were brought up saying you have to work hard to succeed, right? Then you work hard. And when you do a hard day's work, you get a hit of dopamine as a reward. And so now every day you have to work hard to get your dopamine fix. And if someone tells you work smarter, not harder, you can start doing that and it can actually get you good results. But now your body's like, where's my fix? This is not working for me. And so it makes you unconsciously screw things up. So there's extra work so you can work hard so you can get back into your fix.
You're in my brain right now. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Uh, Question for you. So we were just speaking to this, and those listening, Jay Souter is a mutual friend,
Mhm.
and he has an event called Dynamic Life. We were just talking about it before we started recording, and it's a powerful event. I just came out of it. Shiraz has done it, and a lot of what Jace does there, Shiraz does as well. And so they both are like these powerhouses for really truly helping people transform permanently. But I bring that up because I had a group session with you about money and responsibility. And then last week in Dynamic Life, it came up of the bodyguards. Like we all have a bodyguard that's trying to protect us from feeling a certain thing. I named mine Olga. Okay. So Olga's my bodyguard. And what I realized on a deeper level was that Olga loves overwhelm.
Mm.
Like she seeks it out. And it's so funny well, maybe yesterday. Yesterday and today were the first couple days since that event that I was like, ooh, Olga's back, baby. Like she's wanting overwhelm. So what you just shared there on like, it's like a workaholic addiction in a sense. It's like I have to
Yes.
work hard, I need to struggle. And so to that point, like what does that look like for someone to shift from that, right? Like
Yeah.
to release that.
So to get out of any addiction takes on average about 6 months.
Mm.
Right. So Olga's going to keep coming back. And you're like, no, Olga, get the hell out
Yeah.
and get back on the wagon, keep going. And this is one of the things I teach my clients is that if you end up in withdrawal, recognize it's withdrawal, forgive yourself. It's a chemical process going in your body, and then just get back on the wagon and continue the process. And you'll slip back again, but you'll stay out of the withdrawal for a longer period of time and then a longer period of time until it's just gone. And that's part of the process. Now, the way you can shortcut it is to replace one addiction for another. Right. It's just like, people stop smoking, but then they start eating and they gain weight. So, but if you consciously replace one addiction with another, it can work out really well. So I used to work hard, but it wasn't because I was taught you have to work hard to succeed. It's because I had a big ego and I'm like, I can outwork you. So if you said you're going to work an extra hour, I'll work too. If you say you're going to work late tonight, I'll go all night. Just to say, yeah, you think you're good, Kens? Watch me. Right.
Step off. All right.
That's it. Right. And it was great. And it got me success, but it was burning me out.
Yeah.
And so finally, I discovered reality addiction. I'm like, oh, shoot, you're addicted to that. You're addicted to one-upping everyone. Right. So I said, instead of working harder, what if I put my addiction on everything being easy? Right. So now whenever something was easy, I celebrate. I'm like, yes, that was easy. I'm giving myself a dopamine hit in the celebration. And so now I'm training my reticular activating system to look for ways to make things easy, look for opportunities for things to be easy. And what's cool is when law of attraction kicks in, the opportunities start coming into my life as well. So you get it from both sides. You're doing it, and other people are bringing it to you. So I'll say, oh, I got to do this. It's going to be tough. And someone will say, hey, I could do that for you. I'm like, really? That was easy. Bang, celebrate. And so now I've built this addiction of everything being easy in my life. And it's not that everything always is easy because there's some things still hard. It's life. Things happen. But for the most part, so freaking easy, right?
Mm.
And that's it. Now I'm in that addiction. Because you're switching, it happens way faster. You can get it down from months to weeks or even days.
Wow. Okay. That's really good. Because I was that person that would switch addictions and it took me years to realize it. And yet I still observe that I have that in my life. And I think many people do, even if no one's, they haven't been to a 12-step program. It's like you're addicted to reality as you
Yeah.
share. So that's
Yeah.
really,
And
really good.
that's the thing most people don't get, and you have to really understand. You're going to be addicted to a
Mm,
bunch of things. It's your body's way of maintaining homeostasis. It's just
mm,
that you have not been choosing the addictions, and you can now start to choose them. You can be addicted to wealth. You can
mm,
be addicted to ease. You can be addicted to good health,
mm.
right? So,
Well said. Well said. Shiraz, and again, I could ask you for hours so many questions about your life and what you do. And my heart is to make this the most potent for people that are listening, because really I believe, your story alone, what you've shared already is so profound.
thank
And
you.
I would encourage people that are any even remotely touched by what you've shared to seek out getting around you, because this episode I think is a gateway to that. So could you share, and then we'll dive into some things that I would love to dive in with you deeper on, what it looks like for someone to work with you, like what your, group coaching, all that. Could you just share on that so people understand the structure you've put in place to help them consciously choose their addiction and what that looks
Okay.
like?
So I have several programs. The basic program is called Monthly Magic,
Mm,
and we meet a few times a month to clear the beliefs.
mm,
And it's 2 hour sessions. There's a couple each day to allow for time zones, work schedules. You come to the one you like,
mm,
and it's a year-long program. And it is like, because we allow for 6 months to get out of addiction and 6 months to create an addiction. And
mm,
what's amusing is not many people try to get out of the program. But most that do start coming up with excuses around the 5 or 6 month thing, where they're at that point where, oh, the body's like, we're about to lose the addiction. Let's just get out of the program so we can go back to the old addiction. And I'm like, no, stick with it, get over the hump. And then after that, they're just cruising. And for
mm,
that, it's mostly entrepreneurs, but it can be for anyone,
mm,
because we're tackling health and relationship and success and money. And so all that stuff is in there.
mm,
And above that, like built on top of that, is the Business Magic program, where you get everything in Monthly Magic, but now you get business training,
mm,
masterminding, right? And a whole bunch of other perks. 2 day deep dives there's one tomorrow. Tomorrow is the relationship one.
mm,
And then we have one on health and slowing down the aging process. We have one on manifestation, and we have one on money and success. And
mm,
so for the business one, it's about getting to 6 figures and above consistently,
mm,
because a lot of people don't realize that 6 figure ceiling, it's protecting you. It's not that you don't know how or you can't.
mm,
It's okay, let's stay safe and stay in this under 6 figure addiction.
mm,
And then the other thing I have is, what I do is not a gift, it's a skill.
mm,
Right. So I teach people how to do energetic magic, and I certify them. So some people work with me in that capacity. And
mm,
I just want to build an army of people that can just go out there and shift everyone's beliefs.
mm,
So that's it. And then if none of that's for you, then there's private coaching. We work
mm.
one-on-one a couple times a month and go deep. Most of those are 7 figure and above coaches that I have, and they're coming in to add a zero to their income.
Mm.
And yeah, one of my clients, Jennifer, she's like, every time that she works with me, her next event makes more money than the last event. She has not had an event go down in income since we've been working together.
Wow. What a
So
testimony. Okay, let's go. That's amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, because again, I think it's really important for all of us to have some sort of structure and a guide like yourself, especially yourself, and to work through these things. And I love that when you broke down the 5, 6 month mark, and a lot of people or some people might feel that way and then push through the hump. Like, I mean, this is deep work that you're doing, and it's can be scary if people are attempting to do it on their own.
Yeah.
But for you to be like, I know what you can expect. I'm here. I think that can reassure people like, hey, there is freedom on the other side of this. There is true breakthrough. And
Mhm.
so thank you for sharing that. And my thought was so in a little backstory for those listening, I was actually on one of your group calls so far and in the hot seat. I don't know if you call it the hot seat. That was,
Yeah.
sitting there. And I remember you helping me with around finances. That's been an area of my life I've been working on, especially the last couple of years, and just rebuilding from the ground up. And something you helped me realize was the responsibility piece. And I felt like I had a responsibility to other people's like I didn't want people to feel insecure around me if I made more money than them. And I
Mhm.
wanted to control how they felt because I know what it's like to feel insecure around other people. And I was like, I don't want to be the reason people feel that way, but I can't control it.
Yeah. Can't control it.
It's not my responsibility to control how they feel. So anyways, I would love to go into the health, wealth, relationship topics, and maybe we just hit one, however deep we go, but just as an example, so someone could like see what that's like in working with you and how you help people debunk what's holding them back.
Mhm.
So does that sound good to you?
Sure.
Okay. So why don't
Okay.
we maybe revisit the finances because I'm sure there's layers. So how would you like to go about it? Would you like me to make a statement and then
Oh, let me just explain quickly to the audience what's about
oh,
to happen.
okay, perfect. Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that.
Okay. So we're going to have a conversation about what's going on with the finances. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious.
Mm,
So you may say, look, I want to make this much more money this year. And I'll say, nope, that's not coming up true. So I'm not calling Ken's a liar. I'm just saying unconscious says something else. So we'll start digging down to find out why that's not true. And we could get to a belief like it's unfair for me to have a lot of wealth while other people are struggling.
mm,
All right. And if you have that belief, then you have to make sure you're not one of those wealthy people because that's unfair. So you stay there. So then I'll say, are you willing to step out of the story that you have to limit your wealth while other people are struggling? If you say yes and you mean it, it actually shifts. Now, what does that mean? A shift is actually a rewiring of your neural pathways and a release of energy. So you're physically rewiring your neural pathways. And it comes from the yes. In the yes, you have to put the full intention of, I don't need this. It is not serving me. It can go.
mm,
And that full intention is what causes you to basically shift your own body. And I want people to get this is I'm not doing any kind of energy work to create a shift in you. I am guiding you to the thing you need to say yes to create a shift for yourself.
mm,
Because once you know the story, you can step out of it. So when I'm working on you, anyone that's watching that goes, oh my God, same story. Then when I say you're willing to step out of it, they can say yes, and it's
mm,
going to shift for them. And this is the cool thing is that I'm in a group and, the call you were on, there was like 50 or 60 people there. One person's up and they say yes. And you watch like 40 of the people all shift together because it's all the same belief.
yeah.
So that's what's about to happen. Oh, and then the last thing is when you shift, I tend to yawn and cough. I don't know why my body does that, but it's just a reaction. But my clients love it because it's a confirmation that they actually did do the shift.
Mm,
So yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Well, and to that point, the yawning and the coughing, it's fascinating that you feel that too. I had a spiritual experience, gosh, I don't know, a year and a half ago, maybe,
Mhm.
and I was yawning a ton. It was such a release I'd never
Mhm.
felt. It was around like my past sugar addiction.
Mhm.
And I solved that, quote unquote, temporarily for not eating dessert or candy for almost 7 years. And then
Yes.
when I started eating it again, I wasn't necessarily like, well, I did go back into that addiction for a period, but then it was so profound. I didn't know any other way to describe it. It was a release, and now I can have those things, and I don't. They're not addictive. So, or to that degree. Anyways, okay, I'm so excited. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
Okay.
Okay, so finances. I'm thinking health, wealth, relationships, but starting with finances.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Start me off. What's going on?
okay. Well, so this is great because I have been compounding some breakthroughs right now and I just want to get it all out. So I think I know one of the things that hold me back is feeling guilty for charging people higher amount of money.
Mhm. Okay.
And yeah, so we'll start there.
Okay. What causes the guilt?
That's a great follow-up question here, Shiraz. I think because I want to help people and I know depending on what I'm like the specific things I'm doing, I can,
Mhm.
I mean that we have a connection there. And so my heart to help and then maybe not being able to help them, I just feel bad. I don't know. I feel guilty.
Okay. Because you're deciding they can't afford it.
or they'll tell me they can't afford it, or
Okay.
I decide for them. Either one.
Yeah. When you decide for them, you don't even know if they can afford it. And you're already saying, no, I will just charge less or I won't work with them. I'll have fewer clients. So the thing to keep in mind is there's a direct connection between how much people pay and how big a shift they get.
Mm.
Right? Whether it's like an energetic shift or if they're signing up for a marketing course, people will only get a certain amount of success in a lower price marketing course and they will go all out on a big one because of that value they see in the price. So that's why my people in my private coaching is the most expensive coaching I have, and they're adding zeros to their income, right? So they're already at 7 figures and going to 8 figures, and it's happening quickly because they're all in. I have people that come to a free workshop that I do every month, and they have little bitty transformations because they're like, well, it's free, right? And so there's that relationship. So you have to keep that in mind, that it's not just that they perceive it, they will try harder for the transformation when it's at a certain price, right? So underpricing yourself is actually doing them a disservice. Right? Because it's like, oh, $10. I only have to do $10 worth of change. That's it. Now, the other thing is you're not responsible for their financial well-being, right? So the thing I've found is if people see your value, they will find a way to work with you, right? They will find the money, get the transformation, and love you for it, right? So it's on them to make the decision whether they're going to pay for you. It's not on you to make that decision. And you're just trying to avoid emotional distress, avoid guilt by undercharging.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, when people ask me, how much something is, I go, it's this much. And they're like, that's a lot. I'm like, it's worth it. Like, I don't haggle. Nope, totally worth it. Other people are paying for it, totally worth it. End of story. And being in that level of confidence and certainty that you're getting the value actually helps them to say, oh, okay, let's go there. So are you willing to step out of the story that you are responsible for how other people feel about your prices?
Yes.
Are you willing to step out of the story that you have to feel guilty when people can't afford you?
Yes.
That's not a real yes. That was interesting.
So,
Right.
okay, this is the thought I had.
Yep.
And I love this because it's like, I'm not consciously like, oh, I want to lie to Shiraz, it's just, I'm lying to myself.
Yep.
And I think my next thought was, well, okay, what if I made something free and available for them that they could still use, even if it's not what the main program I would charge for?
Yep.
That's where my brain went. So I don't know if that's helpful
And
or not.
you can absolutely do that. But like I said, I've got that as an introduction. And the people that don't join my programs that just keep coming at it every month, they feel like they're getting some changes, and some of them are, but it's always these little changes. And the people that are willing to invest in themselves get the big change. So that's the thing about doing the free things. It's a good introduction. It usually doesn't cause a lot of transformation.
Right.
Right. And so you want them to step up and get into a paid program. It's like, this is it. I mean, if you lower your prices, you can get to a position where you can't afford to serve everyone because you're not getting enough from each person. So now no one wins because you can't afford to eat. They're not getting any better. Like you have to take all of this into account, right? Remember that you've got to put yourself first and foremost, right? Not out of like selfishness, or bad selfishness, but good selfishness. And when you take care of yourself first, you're in the best position to help everyone around you. When you're compensating and saying, I got to lower my prices, I got to give more time, I've got to do whatever I can so that they have a transformation, you burn yourself out and become useless to everyone. Right? So if they cannot afford me, I have zero guilt, right? And times I'll say, why don't you go work with this person? They're affordable. And I have lots of contacts that do energy work, mindset work. So, go work with them. And when you're ready, you can come work with me. Actually, I just did an event, 3-day event in Orlando. And I was offering a program, it was $12,500. And one of the attendees there is like, yeah, I couldn't do that. So I hired this person, Tiffany, who was also there, that has another program that's lower price. And they said, I'm hiring Tiffany to get me to a place where I can afford you. And I'm like, cool. Absolutely, go for it. Right? So I did not feel guilty that they couldn't afford me. And even if they hadn't hired Tiffany, I would not have felt guilty that they couldn't afford me. That's just where they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to feel guilty when people can't afford you?
Mm. Okay, I'm probably a little difficult here.
Yep, all
Another
good.
thought. Another thought, and hopefully this is inspiring people. So the next thing that comes up for me is like, okay, if I look at Americans,
Mhm.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's an easier thing for me, and I'll simmer with that of do I really believe that? For Americans,
Mhm.
I part of what I do is globally and going to, different places in the world that realistically could never maybe afford that unless they had
Yeah.
other opportunities. So my brain is still a bit like, okay, I can still serve people with something that's free, lower transformation, and do what is put on my heart to do, those
Mhm.
demographics, and still know that I can charge higher over here for people that can create those means in a potentially an easier way.
Well, yeah. And here's the thing. The the more you have high paying clients,
Mm.
the easier it is to have free things for other people.
Mm.
Right? Like you can have a bigger impact on the poor if you're rich than if you're poor. You
Right.
can create a charity and fund that charity if you're rich.
Hmm.
So when you're stuck in, I have to help the poor by going down, you've trapped yourself. When you help the poor by going up, you've created a solution in freedom,
Mm.
right? I make so much money that I have like a certain percentage that goes to charity. That percentage is bigger than it's ever been because I make more money than I've ever made.
Mm. Yeah. Gosh. It's like, okay, yeah, Mackenzie, come on. And then but hearing that and pulling forth these subconscious beliefs and it hits different.
So
Yeah.
let's try it again. Are you willing to step out of the story that you have to feel guilty when people can't afford you?
Mm, yes.
And it's cool because you can get a fix out of giving when you have lots and lots of money. Like, I remember this happens every year, and I love it every time it happens. At Christmas at the grocery store, they always ask, "Would you like to give $2 to help the families in the area?"
Mhm.
And and I'm like, "Hold on," and I'll go into my bank accounts and I'll look at my charity account, how much money is in there, right? And so then I'm like, "Yeah, no," and they're like, "No, I'll give 200." They're like, 200? I'm like, yeah, and I'm fine. I'm good. Let's just do that.
Mm.
Right. And it feels great when I do that. And
Mm.
so this is it. This is why you want to accumulate money. This is why you want to charge higher prices to the right people. And
Mm.
another thing that comes up, especially in the US now, is there's a whole bunch of uncertainty and a lot of people are struggling. But I said, start really looking at what's going on. Let's say there's a 10% unemployment rate, which is really, really high,
Mm.
right? And that feels like, oh my God, how many people are employed then?
90.
90% of the people are employed. Like we panic, oh my God, it's up to 10. I was like, that's still 90% of the people employed. And I actually went to ChatGPT and I said, how many people in the US are making between 100,000 and $1 million a year?
Mm.
And it said 11%. And I'm like, that's 40 million people. So there's
Mm.
no shortage of clients with money, right? If you go to households with money making 100 to a million, it goes up to 37%. So that's hundreds of, like, well, I guess 120,000 or so people,
Wow.
right? So yeah, there are people struggling. You can help them if you serve those other people that are not struggling, right? That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so good. That's so good. And it's so fascinating too. And I mean this with all due love and respect to how I grew up. It's very generational, like
Yeah.
it's and there's no finger pointing here. It's just observing the theme of things that happened and we were just born into and so that's been too much of my lens. Like I'm letting that go more and more of like the more I get around people like you, it's like that's not how the world has to work, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's really powerful. Oh, Shiraz, thanks. I
Welcome.
appreciate you. Okay, relationships. If we can dive in there.
Mhm.
I'm at a place in my life that I am ready for a healthy relationship.
That's not coming up true.
Okay,
Sorry.
even as I said it, oh my God. So more so I think I want to be ready. I like the idea of being ready.
Okay.
I yeah, I'm not though. And I think I feel like I need to do all these other things before I'm ready. And
What are all these other things? That's
like, I would love for my business to be a different spot where I'm not addicted to the overwhelm and working so
interesting.
much because whenever I do go on dates, there's been a couple times recently where I'm like, oh, this was fun. I'm glad I wasn't working and I was here with this person. And then there's other times that I'm like, this is a waste of my night, like, or a waste of a few hours that I could
Yeah.
have been working. Like that's probably horrible. That's just so
So
that's
you
one.
realize you create those dates to justify why you should just be working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, duh. So the other one is like my attachment style. So
Mhm.
my past relationship, that was very apparent of my attachment style and his, my past serious one, and well, it's my past like formal relationship. And so I had a therapist tell me years ago, because I was like, I want to heal this before, and this is before I'd ever met him. And she had mentioned like there's just certain things that you just can't heal unless you're in relationship. Like you can only do so much when you're single,
Yeah.
and that's stuck with me. So a part of it's like, well, I don't want to go into a relationship and have this unhealthy attachment show up because then I'm going to attract someone that's unhealthy in their attachment and the cycle is going to continue.
No, you're going to attract someone that's unhealthy in their attachment if that's your story.
Mm, mm,
So if your story is my next relationship is the one that helps heal these attachment issues, then you're now in that frequency of attracting that person, right? Because it's not like versus like, it's frequency. That's why you can get couples that are very different because their frequency matches. We were talking about this the other day. It's like oftentimes in a couple, you have the person that, let's get ready. And one person's like, oh, okay. And that really means I'm going to get ready over the next 2 hours.
mm.
Right? And the other one is no, that means now let's get ready. And they always tend to couple up and it's like, oh my God, this person is so frustrating, right? But overall, the relationship works. It's just that there's these quirks going on,
Mm,
right? So it's not like versus like, or both people in the couple would be, yeah, let's get ready quickly. There's
mm,
things where you will be in alignment with that and things where you're not, but the overall alignment of the couple
mm,
works,
mm,
right? And so this is it. And wherever you are, no matter how, call it damaged, but it's not really, or put together you are, there are people out there that are at the exact same frequency as you. So
mm,
you've always got potential for couples, whether you're a good person or bad person, a healthy person, not healthy, high frequency, low frequency, there's always going to be people that are aligned to you.
mm.
And you know this because you see these couples all over the place. And you even see people like, you can think about the person you think is the most annoying person that you're like, I don't know why anyone would like them. They've got friends, right? Right? Because they're in frequency with those people.
Yeah. Mm,
So there are all these potential partners for you that you will push away if you say, I'm not ready,
mm,
or they'll have the same crap as me, right? When you run those stories. But when you're running the story of this next relationship is going to be freaking fantastic,
mm,
then you can pull that in.
mm,
But it's got to be this place of it's going to be, not I hope it is, because I
mm.
hope it is uncertainty,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I've definitely been in that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple of other things that came up, and thank you. That was huge. One is, okay, I think of like reciprocity of like if that man will help me heal, I would want to also help heal him.
Yeah, that's not your job. And it's not even his job, it's not even his job to heal you. It's just that within the dynamic, healing occurs.
Mm,
Okay? You're not responsible for your partner, they're not responsible for you. Relationships should be one of choice.
mm,
Right. One of my old coaches, like she said, the way she does her relationship is every day her husband and her will get up and say, I choose you today. Right.
mm,
And she said, and so our relationship is completely of choice. We choose each other every day. And it looks like a committed relationship, but it's a choice relationship. And don't get me wrong, there are days where I'm like, I'm not freaking choosing you today. You're being a dick. But most days I choose him. Right?
yeah. 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 That's good. So another narrative that came up at Dynamic Life, and it's really been the undertone of my life of just insecurity and I'm lesser than. Like I'm not as good as other women. I'm not as pretty as them. It's mainly that, like I feel pretty confident in maybe not every other area. The main areas that I think of like,
Mhm.
other things in life outside of looks. And and so I'm still releasing that or like, establishing that as a new change. And so that's something else I'll think of is I'm just not, and I attracted my ex. That was our biggest issue is that he did not like how I looked. He was like, it really bothered him. And so I was like, wow. I mean, but I also battled that for me. I was like, I need to be this tiny little petite girl or look this way or whatever. And I'm just not that. And
So again, I want you to think about it. If your story is, I'm not good looking enough,
mm,
what is a great way to put evidence of that into your life? Date a guy that tells you you're not good looking enough.
yeah,
Every
that's
time
what
he
happened.
says it, you got a dopamine hit, even though it hurt.
Mm.
Underneath it, you were getting a dopamine hit because you got to be right again. Oh,
Okay, I'm putting myself in the hot seat. Hopefully everybody listening is not like, I mean, hopefully you're like, you see you in some of this, okay?
oh
Because
yeah, they will.
yeah. I think it's yeah, I gotta turn the fan on me. I'm sweating. Yeah. I will say coming out of that relationship as, ended in a pretty abruptive way. I am not long after I was like, I created this. Like it's
Mhm.
not about him. I could have been with anyone and this probably
Yep,
would end up the same spot, right? So,
yep.
okay. So now what do I do from here?
Who taught you you're not good looking enough?
I don't want to call names out. I just would say several people growing up. It was more so
Okay.
that I was compared, you know?
So what's
Yeah.
the earliest you remember being compared and feeling not pretty enough?
Well, elementary for sure. It was there. I don't know if that's the earliest. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking up like three.
Yeah.
So someone made you feel not pretty enough.
Mm-hmm.
You took that and created a belief that I'm not pretty enough.
Mm-hmm.
So then you had to go out and continue to create evidence to support your story that you're not pretty enough from that one person that just got in your brain. Okay. And here's the thing, no one tells you you're not pretty enough when they're in a place of high frequency because it doesn't occur to them to hurt other people's feelings. If someone tells you you're not pretty enough, it's because they don't feel pretty enough. And putting you down makes them feel higher, right? So it was their trauma that got downloaded to you. So when you get that, then you realize you are pretty enough, but your prettiness intimidated the hell out of them. Okay. So it's not about you, it's about them, it's their story. Are you willing to step out of their story that you're not pretty enough?
I have a question. I so on that, like with guys, like one guy comes to mind, and I'll just share it. It was some random dude on freaking MySpace, and he, from what I remember, he like called me face disgrace or something. He made a comment, and so Shiraz, this is how twisted this is, and I feel bad for the younger self. Is that I then made that my like profile name.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was impactful. Okay. I wanted to ask you this. Were you trying to hurt him?
Maybe probably,
Yeah.
hurting people hurt people.
Yep.
I don't know why he would do that. Like I didn't even know him.
Because he was in a place of low self-esteem. Remember, this is it. Anyone that makes you feel bad is hurting and using you to try to prop themselves up. So if someone says face disgrace to you, that's exactly what he's feeling about himself. So are you willing to step out of his story that you are a face disgrace?
Yes.
And again, everything's going to come down to frequency and your self-image,
Hmm.
right? Because however attractive you feel you are, that's what goes out and hits everyone else,
Mm.
right? I was at a job once and I was just there for 6 weeks, but I get to the office and there's this one woman there and she's somewhere between 200 and 300 pounds.
Mm.
And I could not take my eyes off her. And then one day one of the other guys sees me looking and he goes, I know, right? What is it about her? And apparently every man in the office is lusting over it. And now having done this work, I realized in her mind, solidly, I'm fucking sexy as hell.
Mm.
And everyone felt it off her. And I asked him, is she single? And he's like, no, she's engaged. I'm like, of course she's engaged.
Get it, girl.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
Right. But this is it. Like, in that shallow space, there shouldn't be every man in the office lusting after someone that is like, Western standards, that's too big. But
Mm.
she wasn't. She was freaking amazing and she owned it and she loved it and the way she moved, the way she talked, so much confidence. I am the shit.
Mm.
Right. And so any woman, any man can do this, can be this. when it's authentic. You can't really like try to pretend I'm the shit. You got to really start loving yourself, loving who you are, all the aspects of you, the bad stuff and the good stuff, and realize, I got some shit going on, but I still love me. I'm still freaking awesome. And then everyone starts to get pulled into that energy. And what it is love of you. Most of us are looking for love from external sources. We're like, that person will love me. They can fill me up with love. If that person loves me, they can fill me up with love. People pleasers are trying to get love from other people so it can be filled up. But if every other person on the world is a source of love, that means you're a source of love. So why not fill yourself up with love so that all the other love is bonus, not necessity?
Well said. Well said. Everybody, you know why I have Shiraz on right now. The guy. You're the man. You're the man. Wow, that's really good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And last category in our last few minutes here, and then I'll hit you with a few questions that I ask everybody. Health. So the main thing that's been coming up for me in my health is really, it's like money's the first domino to get my health back where I want it to be. It's been my belief. Now, there's two main avenues that I'm seeing that. Number one is just time. Like I've still worked out. I've still I eat what I know to be the best for my body most of the time. I go through times where I'm like, oh, I just feel gross and I gotta, I get off track. And so, yeah, part of me will feel guilty because I like to work out twice a day. It's just like, I feel best when I do that. Not every day. It's not always super intense. It might be 10 minutes, whatever. I just love my life way more when I'm moving in the morning and I'm moving later in the day. I just do. And so when I started my business full time a year and a half ago almost, I then decreased that to once a day. And then it'd be like 3-4 times a week. So like minimal from what I'm used to. And though I know there's a lot of benefit in that, anyways. So that's one thing that I'm like, okay, when I have better systems and stuff, I can get back to moving how I want to move. And I know I'm going to have more health benefits. So so that's one thing. The other side is I worked with a number of different doctors and health professionals and did a variety of different testing a couple years ago. And that really helped me see where my hormones were at. I did a GI map. I did all this stuff. And so I've been a mix of procrastinating / waiting to invest in a doctor that I know is more than I can afford right now. Because from what I know of him, that is who I want to work with. Like, that's who I trust with all the research and everything I've done. So that's another thing too, of like, I have breakthroughs in my internal health that are waiting until that happens. So that's where I'm at right now with it.
Okay.
And I don't know how to break through that.
Do you want to be healthy?
I do.
Okay, that's coming up true. Good.
That's a good thing.
Good first step.
I do. Yes.
Is it safe to be happy? Not happy, healthy. It's safe to be healthy.
Yes.
That's not coming up true. And actually, because my brain made that pop up, is it safe to be happy?
Yeah, I think I was still, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think it is.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the thing. And this is what happens. Sometimes it sounds like a Freudian slip, but it's not. It's an energetics. Like, this is the actual problem. Right? So it just comes out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with being happy?
Oh, what is wrong with being happy?
How would people react to you, interact with you if you were happy all the time?
It's interesting. In the last few years, since I overcame so much of the addiction cycle I was in, like if someone met me in that, I was a loose cannon. I was all over the place.
Yeah.
Since then, I do believe my impression on people is that I am happy all the time, or most of the time, because I'm a pretty joyful, chipper person.
Yep.
With that said, like there's certain people in my life that I will go to and confide in that I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm just complaining all the time. You're getting a lot of my crap here, So, what's wrong with being happy?
Yeah. And like to clarify, because I know you're not like an unhappy person, but it feels like you've put a limit on how happy you can be.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with being happier than other people?
I think it's certain people that I'm really close to in my life that are very unhappy all the time.
So you have to stay within a certain range of their happiness?
Without, again, calling anybody out, it's extremely draining for me to be around them. And I want to be around them because I want a relationship. And at the same time, I don't want to be around them because it's a drain. Okay.
So you're hanging out with people who drain your energy and you've made a decision that you can only be so happy around them. So my question is, why do you want a relationship with that person if it's constantly draining?
Yeah.
And you don't have to say it out loud, but I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
Like, how is this benefiting both you and them? Because it sounds like it's benefiting them.
That's how it feels.
Okay.
And I'll just say this, in this specific thought, it's family. And
Mhm.
I didn't value family in my 20s. Like in my heart, I think I wanted to. I just wanted a healthy family. And
Okay. And that's fine. Your healthy family does not have to be blood or relation.
right, yeah.
So have you heard the expression blood is thicker than water?
Hmm.
Do you know what the full expression is?
Share it with me.
The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, which means the
Mm.
relationships we form in life are more important than the family we were born into. Actually means the opposite of how people are using it.
Mm.
So the covenant may include family members, does not have to. But the covenant are the people that empower you, that you look forward to seeing, not, oh, here we go. I know it's going to be draining, but let's get through this because it's family. So, are you willing to step out of the story that you have to create relationships with people because they're family?
I think if I allow myself to grieve that hope, that
Hmm.
desire, and part of me feels like I need to even have a conversation,
Hmm.
then I could, it's kind of the if then scenario, which probably isn't really what you're looking for, but that's what's coming up for me.
This is the thing. I love my family. They are wonderful people, but a lot of them are stuck in struggle. So I spend less time with them than I used to because my frequency is so much higher.
Mhm.
And we will get together for like Easter and Christmas and stuff and have an amazing time. But I know if I stay any longer, if I stay a few days, the drama is going to start to come, right? So that's how I limit my exposure to my family. And again, they're wonderful people, but struggle. So when you get that you can still love on your family without spending time with them, and you can put your energy into the people that help uplift you, that you also help uplift. Because if you're too busy trying to uplift someone while they're trying to pull down, like it doesn't work,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And if you're busy trying to save them, you can get stuck in savior complex, which means you have to keep finding victims to save, and that becomes your full-time job.
Mm,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah. Do I have a conversation?
It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
If you feel that the conversation will help, that's fine. If you feel that conversation will just result in more arguments and more draining, then just do the shift and spend less time
Mm,
and stay with the people that empower you.
mm, yeah.
So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to create the relationship because they're family?
Mm, yes. Mm. Man, and that's wow, we went down a trail there
Mhm.
on the relationships and
Yeah.
the health and yeah, yeah, that's really good. Shiraz, thank you. We are at our I could talk to you for hours and thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for your time and with me, with the listeners, and with everyone that you continue to show up to serve. I know you just went to Japan and you're in Orlando, correct?
Yep.
And you serve so many people and you help make shifts for them. And it's like you shine a light in the shadows and help them see things. And we just need more of that in the world. And I genuinely like Jace and you are the two people that I've ever met that I'm just flabbergasted at the skill set. And I appreciate you saying that, the skill set that you've built. And yet I just want to give you credit because I do believe that you also have a gifting.
Mm.
And in your struggle, I mean, 18 years. And then to break free from that and allow yourself and to find like at all costs, like go to India, like just you were beating down the doors, you were relentless. So many people would have just given up or accepted that as their life, and you kept fighting. And what's so beautiful is on the other side of that 18-year long fight, and you fought, before and after that, I'm sure. Now we're having this conversation and you're, daily helping people and impacting them. So just you are a true, true world changer.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And it's a total honor. So just thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me on the show. It's been great.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And a few last things. So could you share where people can find you to get connected? We'll link it in the show notes as well. And then I'll go through some quick questions for you as well.
Okay. So you can just go to energeticmagic.com. It's like energetic magic up there.
Mm.
And yeah, all the information is there. Programs are there. Some freebies are there. And that free workshop I do every month, you can sign up for it right on the homepage.
Mm, mm. So
That's it.
good. Love that. Love that. Okay. Yeah. Go there, everybody. I mean, I don't have to tell them. They're convinced. This is really good. Okay, handful of quick questions, whatever comes to mind. With your world travel that you've done, do you have a favorite travel destination and why?
No. Each place has its own unique appeal.
Mm,
And so, I mean, the beaches in Okinawa were just amazing. And I wanted to just, if I didn't have to go to Orlando like a couple days after we got from Japan, I would have probably just changed flights and said, I'm staying here a week, right?
mm,
But I'm a city boy, so most of the times I like to stay in the city. Sydney, Australia got me the beach and the city life. And so that was a fabulous place to be in. And I used to live in Japan.
mm.
Rio de Janeiro. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So it was, yeah, just fabulous city. My friends were staying there, so I went to visit them, and their apartment was across the street from the beach, from the ocean. So we get up every morning, cross the street, and just go into the ocean. And I will never forget that experience. That was fun.
wow. Wow. Oh, thank you for sharing. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay, we're going. Do you have a favorite book or podcast or someone that you go to as like a mentor or guide in your journey?
Oh, I've had a few. One of the things I really enjoyed was The Science of Getting Rich.
Mm,
It is a fairly quick read, and it's breaking it down on creating money as a science.
mm,
And yeah, and a lot of crossover in the concepts that I teach and other people teach, but the way he gets into it, Wallace Waddles, it was written in 1910, I think, right? And so, and everything still applies. The
mm.
examples have changed because I remember one time he's talking about, we're probably going to see a big explosion of air travel. I'm like, yeah, yeah, we saw that. So,
Well done, Wallace. Wow. Okay. Good. I picked up that book like 10 years ago, so I got to go, maybe not that long, but I got to go back because obviously I'm in a much different spot. Sweet. Okay. Okay. This is kind of a goofy one, so roll with me on it. I'm just curious, Shiraz. I want to know this side of you. Is there a song that would fit as the soundtrack of your life or the soundtrack of the season, like one that you would play on repeat that just really speaks to you?
There's a couple. What is it? The Greatest Showman, the theme song.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good.
And the other one, the other side is was sort of a song I like to play to my potential clients. Like, come on to the other side, where it's more fun, where you're not trapped.
Mm.
And yeah, so those are big ones for me. But one of my friends just pointed out, Imagine Dragons, the song Bones, because that song is about creating magic. Yeah,
Oh.
I've got magic in my bones. And they're like, that's totally you. You've got magic in your bones. That's got to be your theme song wherever you go. Right?
Oh, good. That's good. Okay. All right. All right. I'm already vibing. Okay, couple more questions. What do you remember the last time that you laughed so hard that you cried?
Okay, that I cried.
Or just uncontrollably, like you were just kneeled over dying laughing.
Uh, there was probably, if I remember, there was either in Japan or Orlando, there was an incident. There's never more than a few weeks before that happens.
Mm,
And like this household is filled with laughter. And that's the other thing. That's one of the things I'm addicted to is laughter. So
mm,
there's laughter every single day in my life.
mm.
And yeah, and my housemate, I lived with one of my best friends for 37 years. Right? Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, we were just watching a showdown and we were laughing our asses off right before this thing. Right? So, but that's it. Because the other thing is when you're at that level of happiness,
Mm,
the universe brings things into your life that align to that. And one of the things it brings in is wealth to sustain that level of happiness. People don't realize that joy attracts money,
mm,
right? So when you're like, oh, be happy when I'm going to work so hard and I'm so frustrated, but I'll be happy when you're actually saying, I don't want money and I don't
mm,
want to be, and I don't want to be happy in this moment.
mm.
So, and that's it. But yeah, I remember like holding my belly, but I can't remember exactly what the circumstance was. But it was just on one of those trips that someone had done something, and I'm like, oh my God, really?
I love that. Oh my gosh, yeah. I want to be hanging out with you when that happens because I think that'd be so fun. Okay. These are great answers. Last and final question for you, Shiraz. I'm so excited for it. If you imagine that you have a stage and the whole world, all 8+ billion people, whatever it is, are
Mhm.
there listening to what you have to share. And
Mhm.
your speech, you can give one message to them that you want to help change their world, impact their life. What would that message be?
It would be what I've told you. It's that every consistent problem in your life is the solution for an emotional problem you're not looking at. Solve the emotional problem, the physical problem goes away as if by magic. And every person has the power to change that and create that magic in their lives. So just get to it.
Just get to it, baby. That's so good. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Shiraz. I'm gonna listen to this on repeat, just so you know. This is really good. I'm really pumped about it. So thank you so much. Everyone go find Shiraz, connect with him, plug in. You will be so glad that you did. This was tremendous. So thank you again. I very
Thank
much so
you.
appreciate you. Yes. Oh my gosh. Much love. Bye, everyone.
Bye.